We won Slam and Jam only one time during my dad's illustrious AAU coaching career. It's when we had Tony Gonzalez.
Yes, we did. We did well at the ABCD camp. Remember that, though?
You got me 2 scholarships, not just one. Let's start with the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. I want to start with Jason Witten, who some people believe will be a Hall of Famer. He'll be a Ring of Honor guy with the Dallas Cowboys. I think he'll be a Hall of Famer. I don't know he'll be a Hall of Famer. But he said after the game on Sunday he intends to keep playing. Like, you could still move, you could still run, you still had all your faculties. You chose to come back for another year, but you didn't look like Jason Witten looks. Isn't it time for somebody to tap him on the shoulder and go like, it's been good, dude?
Why would you say that, though?
Because he can't move.
Well, who cares? He's still productive. He's still putting up catches. Here, I got advice from the great Jerry Rice, okay, the GOAT.
Okay.
I was talking about when it's time to retire. Let's get down, winding my career down. And he said, you know what, Tony, you play till they kick you out, till the wheels fall off. And he played, 21 years or something like that? And they did. They cut him in Denver. In Denver. And he's okay with that. He's okay with that. So there's players out there that say, hey, milk it. You play as long as you can if you feel that's in your heart. Now, for me, that's why, I went to a Pro Bowl my last year in the league, and I was like, I'm done. And I had an opportunity to come back, but there's no way that I could deal with the grind of it. But Jason, I don't understand it. If I were him, I'd retire too. But I think he's chasing that championship.
But isn't that kind of the heart of the issues with the Cowboys? Like, look, Dez is not Dez of 2 years ago. Okay, but you can't tell Jerry that because Dez is a Cowboy, and Jason is not Jason of 5 years ago. But you can't tell Jerry that because he's a Cowboy. It's like, look, I don't know if you can change coaches because I don't know another coach is going to be cool with, especially a high-level coach, with Jerry Jones conducting his own press conference just outside the locker room. Yeah. But among, the personnel issues are so obvious that I don't think Dak is nearly what people thought he would be, but he's made to look like an even more like an inferior quarterback because he doesn't have the guys who are running open. He has to throw them open, to which he's really not that guy.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying there. But after last year's success, Jerry Jones coming into this year, I'm sure it was optimistic that we're going to make a Super Bowl push just like we did last year. Hasn't turned out that way. I would be surprised. If some changes aren't made from a coaching standpoint and from a player standpoint, because it does need to happen. It absolutely needs to happen.
All right, I'm going to have 2 pieces of sound for you, which are awesome, are incredible. I want to get to the Earl Thomas thing in a second, but I don't know if you heard this. This was Dak after the game talking about Dez and Dez, wanting the ball more. Remember, Dez was complaining on the sideline, then he got the ball, then he fumbled the very next catch he had. Take a listen to what Dak says about Dez.
I think I have to throw him a better ball. Just put it right there on his face mask, and don't give him a chance to drop it, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta love that. You gotta love that right there.
Wait, do you think Dez loves that? He's like, look, you gotta throw it. He essentially called him, was it Featherstone from Necessary Roughness?
Yeah. Don't throw it to Stone Hands. That's what it is.
That's what he calls. He's like, I can't give him a chance to drop it. I gotta throw it right to his face mask. Does that happen? Have you heard that happen in a post-game press conference between quarterback and star wide receiver?
I cannot remember hearing that. But here's the deal with Dez Bryant right now. He is that old, that band that put out a couple hits, that singer, and is getting a little old now and can't hit those notes anymore. It's over. He needs to pivot. He needs to change. What if I were him? Because he's still fast and he's still strong. He's not that big play receiver. Just like Larry Fitzgerald changed his role.
Moving to the slot.
Moving to the slot. But you need an IQ for this, a football IQ. And I'm not saying Dez doesn't have it, but he needs to, this offseason.
I'll say it.
Study a lot of film. Study a lot of film. Because just like you said, I know right now, not for a fact, but I'm pretty sure of myself. If I went to the NFL and he gave me a couple months to get my body in shape, I can go catch 50 balls right now just by reading an offense. I'm not as fast as I was or as strong as I was. He could put him in the slot. He could still be a productive player at between 60 and 75 balls from the slot, catching big, tough balls in crowds. Because that's what he can do.
That takes a sacrifice of ego. Okay, Earl Thomas goes into the locker room of the Dallas Cowboys, puts his arm around the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and says, come get me. Then when asked about it afterwards, if you haven't heard it, here's Earl Thomas when questioned about it after the game.
I went to the locker room to talk to Dez, and I saw Coach Garrett, and, I've always been a Cowboys fan growing up. But the biggest thing that, when I say come get me is, I don't literally mean come get me now. I'm still in the prime of my career. I still want to be here. But when Seattle kicked me to the curb, please, the Cowboys, come get me here. You know, that's the only place I would rather be, you know, if I get kicked to the curb. So that's what I meant by it.
No, you got a problem with that? You got a problem with that?
Still in the playoff hunt.
Yes. Hey, well, I have done this before. I've done this before where I go up to guys from the other teams. Hey, come get me now. My contract's up.
Wait, when did you do this?
I've done it while I was out in Kansas City. I've done it. But we weren't that good. And, you know, my contract's coming up. You never know. They might not want me back. First of all, they'll cut you in a second. Let's make no mistake. All those Seattle fans out there that are outraged thinking, where's the loyalty? Understand this. There is no loyalty between, this is a business. And yes, we enjoy our time where we're playing, but looking at the Cowboys, like, come get me. Why not? I have no problem with that.
Look, I have no problem with you texting somebody, or if you're boys with Dez, telling Dez, hey, tell those guys I want to be here. But while still in a Seahawks uniform, after the Seahawks just eliminated the Cowboys and the Seahawks season is still alive in terms of playoff hunt, going up where you know there's cameras, you know there's microphones, like, come on, man, you can't do that. Like, you might have done it, but you didn't do it in a playoff hunt after you just eliminated the other team, did you?
Maybe the timing was off, but the intention is fine by me because he's also seeing something. This is also, what do you think Earl's seeing in that locker room? What do you think's going on in Seattle? He sees the future coming. He wants to be competitive.
All right, help me out with the Eagles. I'm struggling to buy into their legitimacy as a Super Bowl team. I get the defense. The defense is awesome. They've been able to withstand losing a middle linebacker, losing a left tackle. Got it. But that offense, I like Nick Foles. I played basketball with Nick Foles. He can really shoot. He can play a little bit. I like the fact that he's better than he was with Jeff Fisher. Everybody's better than they were when they were with Jeff Fisher. But he did not look like a guy that could engineer an 80-yard touchdown drive in the playoffs that we know he's going to have to do in order to get to the Super Bowl.
No, he did not. He did not. And obviously you lose the MVP candidate in Carson Wentz. You're going to take a step back. Nick Foles last night did not look that good, especially in that second half. The offense, the receivers didn't look good. Nobody was getting open. So I'm still on the Philly train. I still think they have a very good football team. But Nick Foles has to play better in this. And he said it after the game. You're right, because they're going to come across the team, especially when they go against the Rams, Minnesota. They got good defenses.
Carolina.
Carolina, one of those NFC South teams, like, is going to be one and done for Philly if they don't get this corrected. Next week, I know they have a game. They've already clinched home field advantage. But if I'm the coach, I'm putting these guys out there. I'm like, you go out there that first half. You got to show me that you can handle this because we're not going into the playoffs, especially with a first-round bye, ending the way we did last week. It's got to be better than this.
Tony's going to hang another segment. There's a team not making the playoffs that everyone is talking about, and there's a certain anniversary today in sports, which I think the story relates to. We'll get to that next. I'm